Nobita's dad had passed away. Nobita's mom, exhausted, was barely holding it together. Doraemon had been malfunctioning for who knows how long. Nobita cried in his father's arms, waking him up. Nobita's dad was confused. Doraemon took off his hat. This is all because of the dream hat. He explained that if you put on the hat, it could turn the real world into any dream you wanted. Nobita decided he wanted to be a hero in his dream. He wanted to punish evil and be a little sidekick for justice. Doraemon adjusted the settings on the hat for him. Nobita took the hat and immediately put it on. He quickly fell asleep. In the dream, Nobita began a strange adventure with his dog. Doraemon, hearing himself being called a dog, spun around and walked away. But Nobita didn't care, he was fine alone. He started walking down a weird stone wall, which in real life was just the stairs at home. Nobita heard two monsters whispering. In real life, it was just his dad and mom talking. Nobita snored as he walked through the street. But in his dream, he was running through a forest. Suddenly, he heard a loud shaking sound. A triceratops appeared, quick on his feet. Nobita dodged just in time. In reality, it was just a truck passing by. Soon, Nobita met a witch standing in front of a big pot, who in real life was just a lady cleaning. Nobita walked past the lady, but suddenly a skull hit him in the head. He picked it up, and a purple little monster jumped out of the bushes. Nobita kicked the skull away, thinking he had defeated the monster. In reality, it was just a soccer ball and a little boy. Feeling victorious, Nobita walked on. He entered a dark cave, and the flickering light cast a shadow of a fearsome dragon. Nobita got cautious, but the shadow turned out to be just a regular dog barking. In his dream, the dragon was real, breathing fire. Nobita ran, narrowly escaping. He encountered two little fairies, playing with a butterfly using feathers. One of the fairies caught Nobita's attention, and soon the butterfly turned into a bat. Nobita froze, then got hit in the head by the feather. In reality, it was just Shizuka and the gang playing badminton. Nobita quickly escaped. Back in the forest, he saw three octopuses flying in the sky, crying their eyes out. The three hairy monsters were responsible for their tears. Nobita wanted to save them, but noticed a sword behind him with a guard watching. In reality, it was just a fishing uncle's scissors. The uncle handed them over, saying, "Go ahead and use it." Nobita grabbed the sword and warned the monsters, "Let go of those octopuses." The monsters turned to look at him, and Nobita, feeling brave, lunged at them. In reality, it was just Sunio cutting the kite string. John immediately flipped out. Back in the dream, the yellow hairy monster grew massive, its shadow slowly creeping toward Nobita. Frozen in fear, Nobita stood still. Then, with a stomp, the monster crushed him. In reality, John had just pinned Nobita to the ground, but Nobita wasn't sad. He had a huge smile on his face, loving every second of this adventure. John and Sunio were completely confused. Doraemon rushed over and pulled Nobita back home. Nobita thought his dog Doraemon had changed his mind. He asked Doraemon to help him find treasure. Doraemon, unable to say no, played along. They randomly picked a spot and claimed it had treasure. In reality, Nobita grabbed a shovel at the park and started digging. He dug for a long time, finding nothing. Doraemon quickly pointed to another spot. Nobita kept digging away, and before long, the park was full of holes. Doraemon didn't know how to stop Nobita. Just then, Nobita's uncle happened to pass by, on his way abroad for work, and stopped to give Nobita some pocket money. Doraemon casually threw the money into one of the holes. Nobita found a whole box of treasure in it. Doraemon took the hat back and told Nobita it was time to return to the real world, but when Nobita opened the envelope, he was disappointed. Doraemon quickly scolded him, "That's your uncle's pocket money. Stop complaining."